I just wanted to start off with, how you're feeling, what this moment means for you.
Yeah, I feel so incredibly honored and privileged to be in this position. My community has shown up and shown out in numbers. We overperformed in my district, and now I'm ready to do the work. I'm feeling very privileged because I'm the first Latina in the Iowa State Legislature, and I don't take that lightly. I had conflicted emotions for a while, right? It's heartbreaking and infuriating that it's taken this long. It's 2025. We have a growing Hispanic Latina community here in Iowa. But at the same time, I'm very humbled and honored that I'll be the first, but I won't be the last.
I know the committee work is done for this year, but
Yeah.
can you talk about what committees you're on and what you're planning to work on next year?
So I actually haven't been assigned to any committees yet, just because of the nature of when I'm entering this session and the cycle. We're going to wait until this upcoming session.
Speaking of the end of session, what is it like, or can you face Skylar though? What is it kind of like getting here, honestly, at the last minute though?
It's been really interesting to enter at this time. I do feel really lucky that everyone in my caucus has been really great. They've been supportive. They've made sure that all of the information is super accessible. So I feel good about the process and understanding that, but it's definitely a whirlwind of a time to enter into this space right now.
And you clerked before. Can you tell us which years were you a clerk in the Senate?
That's a great question. I was a clerk, I believe in 2021, for Rob Hogue, State Senator Rob Hogue. Yeah, it was during COVID, and so it did look different for me.
I was wondering about any impressions from that versus being on this side.
Yeah, I think it's really important for there to be a pathway for people who are interested in policy work, interested in helping their communities, and that's a lot of the clerks who are here. They're really interested in that work, and being able to see the process behind the scenes is obviously helpful when you get here and doing the work in a different capacity.
And I know you haven't been assigned any committees or anything, but what policies, what issues are you really hoping to tackle next year?
Yeah, I care deeply about public education. I work in the Cedar Rapids Community School District as a community partner through Kids First Law Center, and there I do restorative practices. So it's really important to me that our kids and our educators are given fair opportunities. I am a firm believer that public education is a pivotal and one of the first steps to lift people out of poverty. So we really need to make sure that our public education systems are being funded, our educators are protected, and to that point, right, unions, education and educator unions, as well as other unions are supported in our state.
I mean, are there any things on education or other issues as we're talking about the budget here that you're hoping to weigh in on in your first few days?
I just plan to make sure that the voices of educators, of kids who are most impacted by our public education system, their voices are all heard in this process.
And I was curious if there's anything, as you were campaigning out in Eastern Iowa, was there anything that you heard, from your constituents that you really want to address? I know you mentioned public education and things like that, but I guess specific to the Eastern Iowa area.
Our community is, upset is an understatement, I would say. Infuriated, disheartened by the anti-diversity, equity, and inclusion legislation. Frankly, it impacts our students, it impacts our workforce in the upcoming years because young people are leaving this state because they don't feel like it's a welcoming place to live, settle down in. And it impacts our education directly, our public education, and for a time there was worry about our private colleges as well. So, that's something that my community has said loud and clear. I completely agree that diversity, equity, and inclusion is actually a strength, and it should be a strength that Iowa leans into because that's how we fill gaps, right? That's how we start to understand which systems aren't helping certain populations of people, and then how can government best support to fill those gaps.
How did you decide to go to Coe College?
That's a great question. I went to Coe because I was interested in seeing how another part of the country ran. And the agriculture here was so rich. I was born in California, raised in Arizona. Co gave me a lot of opportunities. I'm a first generation college student, so I tell this story of how when I was reached out to by Co, they offered to fly me and my mom out, which was pivotal because we didn't have the money to just fly out to every institution that I had taken interest in. And I sat down with someone from Co, and they asked me what I cared about. And I told them I cared about community. I told them I cared about justice, about equality, about class, solidarity. I told them all these things, and they helped connect me with really powerful nonprofits in the Cedar Rapids, Lynn County area that does some amazing work with communities, lower income communities, with refugee and immigrant communities, with rural farmer communities. So it was really great to get that experience, and I say that going to Co was the best decision I ever made.
So why did you decide to stay?
I decided to stay because I found a community here, and I felt like I can make a difference here. And I would just encourage every other person who's thinking about whether they want to stay in Iowa or leave, especially younger people, to think about what you care about and how you can make that difference here in our community. Because people need us. We need us, right? There's a phrase on the back of my blazer that was handcrafted by a Mexican artisan that says, "Tu lucha es mi lucha," and it means your fight is my fight. And that phrase is really powerful to me because I think that we need more leaders with that mentality, and we need more people who are willing to fight that fight here to stay.
Would you mind turning around
Yeah,
so I
of
can see
course.
the back of your blazer? I was almost going to ask about it, but I have a personal rule about not asking about people's clothing.
Yeah, no, it was designed by two of my friends who are designers in Cedar Rapids and hand embroidered in Mexico.
Beautiful.
And just a really powerful piece that, pieces of it has been like passed down generations. So it means a lot to me to be able to be here. There's a woman that came, she was 95 years old, and she approached me and was tearing up, saying that she lived her whole life and never thought this moment would come. And it was just a really incredible moment, and it perfectly executed how representation matters and how it's really important for us to continue to carve out spaces for other people to be in this place instead of just the affluent or the well-connected. Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you guys.